When you think of Mehmet Bozdağ, you probably think of muddy boots, nomadic tents, and the slow, gritty rise of the Ottoman Empire. Diriliş, Ertuğrul and Kuruluş Osman dominated the historical drama scene for a decade. But right under our noses, tucked away in the Bozdağ film catalog, is a hidden masterpiece. A show that permanently leveled up the studio's production capabilities, abandoned the filler, and gave us one of the most terrifying villains in television history. Today, we are talking about Mendirman Jaloliddin. To understand why this show looks and feels so different, you have to look at how it was made. This wasn't just another standard Turkish weekly drama. It was a massive international co-production. Commissioned by the Uzbek Ministry of Culture to honor their national hero, Uzbekistan brought the backing, and Turkey brought the technical heavyweights. Crucially, they brought in Metin Günay. If you are a fan of Kuruluş Osman, you already know his work. He's the visionary director who crafted some of the most iconic, hard-hitting battle scenes in the Bozdağ universe. Günay's signature tension and medieval warfare expertise are stamped all over this project. What is crazy is the timeline. The first season premiered in February 2021. This means its massive production, set building, and filming ran entirely concurrent with the peak eras of Kuruluş Osman, seasons 2 and 3. It was actively competing with its own sister show for the studio's resources, and looking at the screen, it might have actually won. Let's do a quick story recap. The series follows Jalaluddin Manguberti, the prince and eventual last ruler of the massive Khwarezmian Empire. But unlike the Kayi tribe, who are trying to build a state, Jalaluddin is trying to stop his established empire from completely imploding. The stakes here are apocalyptic. On the horizon, you have the terrifying shadow of Genghis Khan sweeping across the Central Asian steppes. But internally, the court politics are incredibly toxic. Jalaluddin has to navigate a deadly power struggle between his easily manipulated father, Sultan Ala ad-Din Muhammad, and his ruthlessly ambitious grandmother, Turkin Khatun. And the writing doesn't shy away from complex romance and espionage. We get a deeply conflicted storyline with Kutlu Baik, a woman kidnapped by Genghis Khan who harbors dark secrets, creating a web of betrayals that forces Jalaluddin to question everyone around him. It's less Ertuğrul and much closer to Game of Thrones. The throne already exists, and the game is deadly. This is where Mendirman Jaloliddin broke the Bozdağ mold. They finally left the tents behind. To capture the 13th century Khwarezmshah capital of Gurganj, Bozdağ built a 30-hectare set in Turkey. They constructed a massive 2-story palace that filled 3,500 square meters. They literally built the streets, residential buildings, and central markets of an empire. Because of the Uzbek influence, the wardrobe department threw out the Anatolian aesthetic. Over 200 tailors worked on entirely new, vibrant, culturally distinct costumes based on historical sketches. And when it came to war, they packed up and moved 750 kilometers away from Istanbul to Aksaray to film grand-scale, sweeping desert battle scenes that felt like actual imperial clashes, not just border skirmishes. None of this works without a killer cast. Emre Kıvılcım brings a fierce, regal, and deeply thoughtful energy to Jalaluddin. He looks and fights like an emperor in waiting. But the true scene stealer is Javohir Zakirov as Genghis Khan. Zakirov delivers one of the most chilling, well-acted, and terrifying antagonist performances in any historical drama, period. So why isn't it as widely talked about in the West? It comes down to distribution, but the audiences who did find it absolutely loved it. The show currently sits at a rock-solid 8.1 out of 10 on aggregate rating sites. The secret to its success? The format. Instead of dragging storylines out over 30-episode, 2.5-hour weekly marathons, Mendirman Jaloliddin was built on a shorter, tighter season format. Season 1 is just 13 episodes, and in the original Uzbek cut, they are only an hour long. This was the best thing to happen to the story. There are no filler episodes. No dragged-out misunderstandings that take a month to resolve. Every conversation matters, the pacing is relentless, and the emotional beats hit infinitely harder because the writing respects your time. It proved that Bozdağ Film could handle massive, high-speed imperial history. If you are burnt out on the slow-burn tribal politics and want to see an empire go toe-to-toe with the Mongols in high fidelity, Mendirman Jaloliddin is a mandatory watch. Have you seen it? Let me know in the comments if you think it beats out Kuruluş Osman in sheer cinematic scale. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.